Good evening and welcome to this Wednesday, February 27th edition of EastCast. I'm Pauline Chow here with co-anchor Bill Gelman and sportscaster Glenn Furman to bring you the latest from East. The big stories of tonight are the opening of the spring musical and East's foreign language activities. If you like poodle skirts, gambling, gangsters, and love, this year's spring musical is for you. Set in New York City during the 1950s, this romantic comedy features Lee Rosen and John Gunn as Sky Masterson, a reputed high roller and notorious womanizer. When Sky proclaims that he is able to sweep any girl off her feet, Nathan Detroit, operator of an illegal crap game, challenges him to do just that. He bets Masterson $1,000 that he cannot win over the prim missionary woman, Sarah Brown, played by Tiffany Manmeter and Mandy Stebbins, and carry her off to Havana. At the same time, Nathan, played by Ryan Madnick, and Lyle Fisher avoids the topic of marriage with his chorus girl steady and fiancée of 14 years, Adelaide, played by Mindy Weiss and Ronit Mitzner. To see whether or not Sky gets the girl or Nathan stays single, come watch this year's spring musical, Guys and Dolls.
Last Friday, Spanish Club students tasted the flavor of Spain at their dinner feast at Chi-Chi's.
Hi, everybody! Hola, mamá. Dessert now being served.
Characteristics of both French and American culture were brought out at the International Banquet Wednesday night, February 20th, at Cherry Hill East Cafeteria 1, became the Café d'International. The banquet was held especially for French exchange students who had just arrived the day before. Special entertainment and various foods were prepared to greet these students. Eddie Lee, president of the French Club, played a wonderful violin piece while the host families and their students got acquainted. The French students must have acquainted themselves real well because before long they were singing and dancing La Danse des Cardes, or the duck dance, while cracking their lips and wiggling their cabooses. The students from France added to the evening's entertainment. However, the duck dance wasn't the only taste of the French culture we experienced. Thanks to the French and Spanish Club members, there was an assortment of foods from French bread to Japanese main dishes to Middle Eastern falafel. The different types of the main dishes, along with the many desserts displayed at the traditional American meal because it reflected the different people who attended the banquet. The banquet was a success because it provided a glimpse of American lifestyles and demonstrated how well the students would adapt to the week ahead. We'd like to welcome our visitors from France. Florence from Paris compared the school days of France to those of the United States.
Students are the same. We shout, we play, we study, but here the mentality is different because I think that in America the school is more strict than in France, and we have more freedom at school than here. Every day we have in France 8 hours of school. Non, moi j'ai 8 heures.
Do you go home for lunch or do you eat in the school?
No, we can eat in the school or on a coffee. Comment tu dis un café? Coffee shop?
Cafeteria. Like a cafeteria or coffee shop?
Coffee shop. Coffee shop, yeah.
Do you have any clubs or organizations that meet after classes in France?
Yes, we have one. It's le journal du lycée. School newspaper. Yes, the school. We have the school newspaper, but not. There are not many people who do that.
Who participate.
Who participate. Yeah.
And you do not have a French club or a Spanish club, none of that. Is there any reason why there are not clubs or organizations?
Because, I think it's because we haven't enough time to do that, because we finish class at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and after we go home at 7 or 8 o'clock, so it's really hard.
Last year, the class of 92 sailed away, but this year, the sophomore class decided to stay ashore and spend an evening in Paris. The ordinary Cafeteria 1 was truly transformed on Saturday, February 23rd, 1991, from 7:30 to 11 into the City of Lights, with the entire room lit up. Decorated with replicas of the Eiffel Tower, a romantic bridge, and the city skyline, all 370 of those who attended enjoyed the feeling of being in the City of Love. The night was an overall success thanks to the overall chairpeople, Lauren Bell and Beth Rudner, along with the decoration chairperson, Cindy Swarek, and the chairperson of favors, Alok Mehta. Congratulations to all those who made the cotillion an incredible night. Amnesty International is hosting a special concert this Friday evening here at East. Jody Cohen interviewed Miss Beth Baird from our history department about the purpose of the organization and this concert.
Ms. Baird, what is the purpose of Amnesty International?
Okay, Amnesty International is an organization that's 30 years old this year, so it's really kind of exciting. For 30 years, it has worked for three things. Amnesty International has a three-pronged approach to the protection of human rights. The first is that it calls for the immediate and unconditional release of prisoners of conscience. And prisoners of conscience are men and women that are being imprisoned, detained, tortured, basically imprisoned for their beliefs, and they have advocated their beliefs in a nonviolent way. So that's a prisoner of conscience. The second thing that Amnesty International works for is the fair and prompt trials for political prisoners. Now, it doesn't call for the immediate or unconditional release of political prisoners, but it does say that they should receive a fair trial, even though their offenses may be political in nature. And the third thing that Amnesty works for is the end of torture and the abolition of the death penalty all around the world.
Oh, well, Rita, I understand that there's a concert this Friday night. What should we expect at the concert?
Well, first there'll be great music from 5 school bands. There'll be there'll be The Silence, None of the Above, Oral Groove, Diagnosis Fatal, and Quick Release. Besides that, we'll have a speaker from El Salvador who's been a prisoner of conscience, and we'll also have 2 speakers there from the Amnesty International organization.
Oh, how do we help by going to this concert?
Well, mainly the concert will be there to inform everybody about human rights abuses around the world, and once you're there, you can help by signing petitions and just learning about the organization.
Thank you, Ms. Baird and Rita, for joining us today. This has been Jody Cohen with EastCast.
And now Glenn Furman is here to tell us about what's going on in the Cherry Hill East sports world.
Thanks, Bill. The girls ended their season on a down note by dropping 2 in a row. The first came on Thursday against Cherry Hill West, 48-34. After trailing by 2 at the half, West broke the game open with a great third quarter. The other loss was on Saturday as the Lady Cougars lost 43-36 to Washington Township. Jill Marple paced the Cougars with 10 points and 14 rebounds. The boys' basketball team has looked nothing like one that has made the playoffs of late. Since barely qualifying with an 8-8 record, the Cougars had lost their last 6 in a row, with their next opponent being West on Thursday. East won the first meeting between the rival schools by 20 points and the next by 1. Both wins came in home, but this time the game was at West. The Cougars opened a 25-10 lead midway through the second quarter when West called timeout. It looked like it would be an easy win for East, but West closed the gap at halftime with a 13-3 run. The second half was evenly played, and the score was tied at 55, with West having the ball. Nate Schooley was holding for the last shot when point guard Dave Ritchie stole the ball and drove the length of the floor for the layup. After being fouled, Ritchie made the free throw to end the scoring, at 58-55. West attempted 3 three-point shots, but none were good. Dave Quinn and Jim Walsh paced the Cougars with 14 points each. East ended their 9-15 season with a heartbreaking loss to Pennsauken. After trailing by 11 at halftime and 14 in the third quarter, East went on a 19-8 run to end the period down by 3. The Cougars took the lead in the fourth quarter behind the strong inside play of Jim Walsh, who finished with 25. But with East up 73-72 and less than 2 minutes remaining, Walsh fouled out. The Indians scored 5 straight points to seal the victory. Matt Zapp hit a 3 to end the scoring at 77-76 with 6 seconds left. East had the ball with 1 second left and tried a length-of-the-floor pass, but it was batted down. Rich Robertson led all scorers with 30 points, including 4 threes. The Cougars improved on their South Jersey lead of 3-point shots made with 10. East season came to an end yesterday with a loss to Willingboro. The loss was the Cougars' second to Willingboro and dropped their record to 9-16. Even if they had won, East would have to play another top 10 team in Washington Township. If they had won that, Atlantic City would be next. AC is the top team in South Jersey and third best in the state. I feel that Camden will meet Atlantic City in the Group 4 final, and Camden will win the game because of a better backcourt. He's brash, unforgiving, and very demanding. No, I'm not talking about Eagles owner Norman Brayman. I'm referring to East boys basketball coach John Valori. When I interviewed Coach Valori at the beginning of the season, he said there would be a run-and-gun offense and a pressuring defense. In the last 2 months, the highest scoring output has been 78 against Camden. You would think that 78 points could win in a high school basketball game. The only problem is that Camden broke its South Jersey scoring record with 152 points. 152 points in a high school game is the same as 228 points in an NBA game. Why didn't he try to slow down the tempo? Maybe he thought he could outrun Camden, the highest scoring team in South Jersey. While in their 6-game losing streak, East basically stopped playing a pressuring defense because Valori thought injuries were a problem. Eric Wasserman and Tom Hoffman were out. But why change your playing style when you're winning? The team started out the season with wins against Shawnee and Washington Township, both top 10 teams. But that has all changed as East has not beaten a winning opponent in the last 2 months. One problem might be the use of the bench. This year, Valori has been using it more, but during the time of the Caciqueses, he hardly used it. One factor is due to the inexperience of it. The whole bench this year has never played a varsity game. Before next season rolls around, some changes in strategy should be considered. And that's the sports, and now back to Bill.
Thanks, Glenn. Well, folks, that's all she wrote for the week of February 25th, 1991. For our cameraman and editor, Mr. Gordon Hansen, student cameraman, Tracy Slovakian, and advisor, Miss Peggy Beck, this has been Bill Gelman, with Pauline Chow and sports anchor Glenn Furman. Stay tuned next for East-West boys basketball with commentary by Jeff Hoke and Chris Dwyer. We leave you tonight with Ophelia, who dreams of Disney World. Good night, Ophelia.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the West Report. I'm Erica Collins.
And I'm Brenda Koenig. On Saturday, February 22nd, the forensics team traveled to Bergenfield High School to compete in various categories from extemporary speaking to dramatic interpretation. Cherry Hill High School West senior Laura Giglio took home a 4th place trophy for prose with an excerpts from Stephen King's It. Other participants included Erica Collins, Lee Horvitz, Amy Schneider, and Cecilia Beyer. The team will be traveling to Long Branch High School this Saturday, March 2nd. The West Report wishes them the best of luck. Domino's Pizza has designated the week of February 25th to March 3rd as Dough Raiser Week for schools. For every pizza sold during this time period, Domino's Pizza will donate $1 to a designated school. The yearbook staff is participating in this program to, quote, raise dough to support the work of the Rampant. Students are asked to use the coupons provided in homeroom if they order a pizza from Domino's during this week. Remember to supply the name of the school, High School West, on the coupon. More details about this promotion are available on the form. The yearbook staff thanks you for your support.
On Tuesday, February 22nd, the freshman volleyball game was held in the Walsh Gym. Although many people were skeptical, the fundraiser was surely a success. At 7:30, the freshmen gathered and tried to sort themselves into 4 teams. After paying the $3 admission price, or $1 if a t-shirt was worn, each student received a color-coded sticker to determine their team. Finally, the games began. A break was given in between each round so that students could buy refreshments. The refreshments were baked by the members of the cabinet and were sold for 25 cents apiece. Although the competition was tough, at 10:30 the yellow team won victoriously and became the champs of the evening. Through hard work and determination, the freshman government pulled it off. $132 was made from admissions, $50 profit from refreshments, and because 20 t-shirts were sold, another $200 was raised. The cabinet thanks everyone for their support. West students had the unique opportunity to be judged and recognized by the peers this past week. Up-and-coming winners entered a writing contest sponsored by West Art and Literary magazine Aspects, headed by Editor-in-Chief Jason Zuzga, poetry editor Karen Bender, and prose editors David Less and Elliot Karetny. The editorial staff evaluates the submission of 7 divisions. The winners were congratulated by the staff and advisor, Dr. Robert Lyons, in a closed-door ceremony with Principal Simon. Congratulations to the winners. And now here on the publication scene, here's Brenda Koenig with co-editor-in-chief.
Good afternoon. Could you tell the audience your name and your position on West's newspaper, The Lions Roar?
Yeah, my name is Joe Fair. I'm the editor-in-chief of The Lions Roar, along with fellow senior Josh Bernstein.
And how long have you been personally involved with journalism here at High School West?
Well, about 3 years ago, in my sophomore year, I took journalism, the class, which is taught by our advisor, Miss McCabe. And I got interested in journalism that way. And through time, this year, I was appointed editor-in-chief with Josh. And that's basically how I became involved.
And something exciting recently happened in the life of our school paper. Could you explain that?
Well, yes, it did. We were granted a first-place ranking by the Columbia Press Association, which is stationed, as you know, in Columbia University in New York City, and we got first place. We're really excited about it.
So what new aspects of the writing or production of the paper did the judges particularly notice?
Well, last year we started using computers by ourselves with the paper, and they noticed that. They liked that we were able to be successful with the whole new system, being the print, doing all that ourselves. And they also liked our new designs of layout, so we were really excited about it.
Mm-hmm. In your estimation, what are consistently the strongest aspects of our newspaper?
They mentioned our writing and our coverage as being very strong. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that most of our writers and editors have taken the journalism class, which teaches basically how to write strong in the journalism field, and that's why we are so strong in writing and coverage.
That's great. Do you recall when the last time that the Lions Roar achieved a first-place rating on a national level like this?
Yeah, it was 7 years ago, 1984, which means first time in a long time we've have the first-place awarding.
Something to be really proud of.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us, is there any particular need that the paper has currently that some students here at West could help fill?
We're always looking for nice letters to the editor to write, express your opinion about some of the things we write about in editorials. We also could use some photographers and some ads for our paper.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Jordan Miller with Sports News. In wrestling news, on Sunday, February 24th, Cherry Hill West finished 5th with 85 points in the championship finals. West's Kyle Young successfully defended his title in a 112 weight group. In girls basketball news, the West girls started off the week with an easy 52-40 win over Highland. The Lions then hosted rival Cherry Hill East and breezed by them 48-34. West ended the week by losing 54-40 to the visiting Camden Catholic. The Lions ended the year at a solid 13-12 record. In boys basketball, on Tuesday, the West boys basketball team started off by losing to Highland in a close 68-60 score. On Thursday, the team was dealt a 58-55 loss by a visiting East team. Rick Iflander led the Lions with 21 points, and West lost to Camden Catholic in our final game of the year. Girls swimming. Last week, the girls' swim team swam in the state tournament, starting off with a 113-57 win over Lawrence. In boys' swimming news, the boys' swim team ended the regular season at 16-1 as it beat Cinnaminson 121-64. Last Thursday, West came home with a third-place finish far behind Cherry Hill East and 1 point behind Highland in the state time finals. In addition, West relays all placed in the top 5. They advanced in the state tournament this week, beating Ocean City by 24 points. And that's all for the sports.
And now, here's Ben Offstrop with the sophomore class news.
Good evening. Welcome to Sophomore News. Since the Valentine's Dance and Carnation Sale, not much has been going on in government. Once again, Tom Estelo, Jen Dallow, and Mr. Munyon, and all of the government would like to thank everyone who lent a hand. Also, work on the Class of 90 Park will continue to grow. The second phase is now underway. Tune in next week for more news on the park and possibly news on the prom. Thank you very much. Now back to the West Report.
Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for the Carusi Junior School News, followed by the East-West boys and girls doubleheader basketball game. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening, and welcome to Carusi News for February 27th, 1991. I am Miraj Mohideen reporting for you. We have a great show today, so without any further ado, I will turn it over to Jen Jennings with our sport report.
Carusi's boys and girls basketball teams just closed their season with exciting games against Beck. The 7th grade boys basketball team had a great season with a record of 3 wins and 11 losses. Members of this year's squad include Rich Bandoy, Brian Carroll, John Fisher, John Holt, Jared Levy, Chuck Lipka, Brad Mallon, Jason Moret, Dan Rosenberg, Mike Shefsky, and Brian Stankiewicz. The 7th grade girls basketball team played a marvelous game against Beck with a final score of 27-9 in Carusi's favor. The final record was 9 wins and 3 losses. As a whole, both 7th grade teams had an excellent season. And now here's Erica Levy with 8th grade sports.
The Mustangs' 8th grade teams also had an astounding season. In their final game, the 8th grade boys basketball team defeated Beck with a score of 47-32. Members of the squad include Chris Matarese, Gary McLean, Mike Deal, Joe Gomez, Anthony Succi, Anthony DeMichael, Matt Halpin, Joe Walsh, Jason Kurtz, Ricky Holman, Aaron Pesnell, and Lenny Rossetti. Their final score was 18 wins and 2 losses. The 8th grade girls ended their season with a loss to Beck with a score of 19-24. The final record was 10 wins and 9 losses. Congratulations to all the people on the 8th grade basketball teams. Now back to Mirage.
And now for some student activities, here is Holly Krembeck with a brief announcement about Spirit Week.
The race is off. As part of Spirit Week, both the 7th and 8th graders are putting in almost all of their free time into turning the halls of Carusi into works of art. The halls will represent the theme of Spirit Week. Monday, the 8th grade and 7th grade halls will be judged as to whose is the overall best. Good luck to all. During the first few days of Spirit Week, some fun-filled activities will include foul shooting, dress-up day, cake decorating, and color day. I'm sure all of these activities will be loads of fun for everyone. See you there. Back to you, Mirage.
Thank you, Holly. And now, to introduce a special feature on cheerleading, we have Jane Rosenberg.
Carusi 1991 cheerleaders got off to a great start. When tryouts began in December, about 80 girls came to show off their stuff. After narrowing them down to 26 girls, they were practicing and ready to go. The first game took place on January 3rd at Beck Junior School. The game began, and they were all fired up and ready to go. They really added pep and excitement to Carusi's first basketball game. and since then they have danced, cheered, entertained at just about every basketball game. The entire team consists of 2 squads. One consists of the 7th grade members who cheer for the 7th grade teams. 2 captains, Linda Helm and Janine Horvath, were voted in by fellow members. As for 8th grade, they cheer for the 8th grade team. There are 3 captains on the 8th grade squad. One is a head captain voted in by both 7th and 8th graders, who is Shelly Vitagliano, and the 2 other captains, Jessica Deal and myself, represent 8th grade. This year, Carusi cheerleaders have maroon jackets to go with their outfits. They wore them to school, games, or just about anywhere. In Spirit Week, which is quickly approaching, the girls will have 2 special performances to go with our theme, 50s and 60s. And now, here's Abby Vernick with an exclusive interview with our 7th grade cheerleading captains.
I understand both of you are captains of the 7th grade cheerleading squad. How were you chosen?
Well, our coaches, Miss Moret and Miss Daniels, nominated 6 girls to be chosen for captain, and the team elected me and Linda.
Did you cheer for the girls' team as well as the boys?
Yes, but we didn't cheer for as many girl games as the boys' games.
Now that the season is over and all you have left is Spirit Week, overall, do you feel that the 7th grade squad has improved?
Yes, very much, because in the beginning we were very nervous, but then the team began to come together, so we made it through.
Every year, the cheerleaders do a dance for Spirit Week. Can you give us any hints about what you're doing?
Our dance goes along with the theme, and we're using the songs Rock Around the Clock and Jailhouse Rock.
And now, here's a look at our cheerleaders in action.
Thanks, Jane and Abby. Tune in next week, March 6th, for some exciting footage on Spirit Week. This has been Miraj Mohideen for Carusi News. Goodbye.